What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gamers for Life podcast, each and every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, discussing all things games, talking that gaming shit here, and we're hitting the end of the year. Of course, I got my in the mood for the holiday. Arthur, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just, uh, weather is changing. We were supposed to have our first snowfall today. We technically had a light dusting, but not even enough to like shovel snow. Nothing like that. Um, so yeah, weather. Like I said, I'm getting all my winter jackets and layers out of my totes. All my good old plastic storage.
Yeah.
So yeah, swimming trunks and all that stuff is going into storage. And all the winter jackets are coming out of storage, so I'm running to wash,
Right.
just doing a light load, just because they have that. They've been in a closet for fucking 8 months, couple months smell. But yeah, no, just preparing for the weather. It was, I think, a brisk high at 25 today. So yeah, winter is coming, my dude. AKA, I'm looking forward to it. I run warm. Um,
Right.
I tend to, go like on, 2 to 3 hour walks in the snow just because it's fun. A life in Cali and now, living in the Midwest. Like I said, California weather is nice, but real shit. If you're a big dude, you're gonna sweat. It's like, wow, it looks really nice to take a picture on. If you're a big dude taking that picture, you're gonna have some sweats. You're gonna have some pit stains. Just the way life goes. But out
Yeah.
here, it's like,
Definitely.
it's a big, being a big guy in a warm weather climate his whole life, and now moving to the cold. I'm like, oh, I'm where I was built to be. Turns out my lifetime of cheeseburgers. I prepared for this. So, everyone's laying up, and I'm like, Arthur, what keeps you so warm? High blood pressure and cholesterol. So, yeah, just been chilling good. Probably, like I said,
Yeah.
going to go on a walk after we're done potting.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. And then what's the do you set up your like your I don't know, map out like what you're gonna eat for the week when it comes to like snow stuff? So like what's usually on the menu when it's like heavy snow shit?
Sort of, not really. Like, so I live in a part of town where I don't really lose power. Like, there are people legitimately live like in the boonies, and like when a blizzard, like a heavy blizzard hits, you might lose power for a smidge. You get your generators going, but yeah, there is like, because I don't have a car. So for listeners that's unaware, I don't have a car. So there are times where a blizzard comes through. We get like maybe a foot or so of snow, but then the cold comes because it could be too cold to snow. I've learned that. So if the snow comes and it's too cold to snow, and then the roads get slick, the sidewalks get slick. Yeah, they plow it. Yeah, they salt it, but it's still just like I don't want to risk it. So I haven't prepped. Let me put it this way: I haven't necessarily quote unquote prepped like cooked food, but I do have X weeks worth of food where it's like, oh, a big ass storm is coming on Monday, another follow up storm is coming on Thursday. I really can't go grocery shopping for the next week. So, but I have enough food to like more than enough last me. Like I said, it's not prepped like it's cooked, but yeah, I have a ton of like my good old pasta bakes and I make some hot dishes. Oh yeah, don't you know? I've been I'm a nomad, but I assimilate well,
Yes.
so been learning a hot dish is kind of like a casserole, but put tater tots on it, and it's really good. I have learned that there are some white people recipes out here where I'm like, that didn't need a block of cream cheese, really, people. But there are recipes out here that like when it comes to like potatoes and shit, you're like, I can fuck with that. Like I said, it's like I think I took a picture of it this time last year, Jarrell, where when I made my first hot dish, it's kind of all the ingredients of like a chicken pot pie, but not made like a chicken pot pie, and you top it with extra crispy tater tots. Oh yeah, on 20-degree day, out of the oven. Oh yeah, that shit's good.
Nice. Yeah, my mom, she used to make really dope casseroles back in the day. Like she did a broccoli casserole and she would put like corn, cheese, and then put croutons into it as well. I was like, this is so
Yeah,
good. Yeah. Yeah.
it brings
Yeah.
you. It
Sometimes a good
just something
casserole,
about a
man.
warm oven baked dish brings you to like back home memories. You know what I mean? Back to when you're a kid, because like adult men, statistically speaking, we don't make a lot of casseroles in our life. So when we do make one, it just brings us back to like the days of old, and especially out here,
Right.
man. Like when you're experiencing like almost like literally like a white Christmas. It's cold, you know. The radio station has the Charlie Brown Christmas theme song, like Christmas time, and it's snowing outside. It it just makes that oven baked food taste that much better. I don't make up the rules. I just know, shocker, a homemade casserole when it's fucking 20 degrees out tastes a lot better than a homemade casserole when it's 105.
Right. Right. Yeah. No casseroles are happening around that time, or shouldn't. Or shouldn't be anyway. So if you're watching this, hello. Of course, be sure to subscribe on our channel at G4L Podcast. That is where Arthur does the streams, the gaming streams for the podcast. Our YouTube channel, we have some of our audio episodes on there. Obviously, our video episodes as well are on there, and anything else Gamers for Life, all your streaming podcasts that the Gamers for Life podcast is on. But you can go to linktree.com/Gamers for Life. That's kind of like the one-stop shop there for the Gamers for Life. But again, subscribe to our channel. We'd appreciate it at G4L Podcast. And here at the Gamers for Life Podcast, we read the news while you can watch or listen to what you choose by clicking on the links to the time code within the description of the episode. So you can go to what you want, or you can hang out with us here at the Gamers for Life Podcast. And winding down, Arthur, to the end of the year, as crazy shit is happening with you when it comes to just companies creating philosophical statements for what an Xbox actually is. Us gamers, I thought it would be great for us to just reflect on the games that we've enjoyed this year, whether they came out or not. Yeah, and just bask in that positivity, and everything. So obviously, the video game awards, right, are gonna be or should be next month. I wouldn't be able to tell you specifically this is
Yeah.
game of the year, this is game of the year. But I mean, tell me a little bit as far as just kind of the games that you've been enjoying for this year.
If I had to sum it up, this year for me, minus Battlefield, this year has been a year of non AAA, non day one games. Again, minus Battlefield 6, which again, as we talked about, surprised the both of us. It's really fun. Neither of us have played the new. I haven't played the new Battle Royale Red Sec mode. I don't plan to. That mode's not for me. If it wants to take all the fucking Call of Duty Recon players out of the fucking rest of the modes and put them over there in the little fucking kitty corner, cool. Because it's just like it's infuriating to play Battlefield 6 and you're playing Conquest or objective based modes, and you join a squad of 3 recons and all of them are just running the map. It's nowhere near the objective, and
Right.
it
No
sucks
one,
when you're
yeah,
playing medic
like, yeah,
because
the
you're
whole
supposed to be
teamwork
in
thing
the
just
fight.
diminished.
Yeah, and then you're in a squad where a tank shows up and you're like, great, I have 3 recons. That could easily fuck up a tank with C4, but they're 2 miles away from the fight, so fuck. Um, but otherwise, like I said, this year, man, if I had to pick, like I said, just rattling off some games I played this year that I had a lot of fun playing. Para Yakuza. Got back in the No Man's Sky when it had the update. They reminded us that Starfield, Bethesda dropped the ball on a space game. Um, Especially after I think the update was called Voyagers, where you can essentially do the only thing that Starfield had that No Man's Sky didn't, is you can walk around your ship, and then No Man's Sky is like, and then of course, because of various updates, we did a smidge of getting back into Space Marine 2, because remember Space Marine 2 had that 1 year anniversary, so they added like more modes, they added more weapons and more operations. And Space Marine 2, like, is just that classic. If any of you have still yet to play Space Marine 2, buy it. It's just such a fun game. It's one of the games that's meant to be played with friends. Like, you can absolutely play it solo, but it really is like reminiscent of like peak God of War, because it's just a classic action gore based game. Yes, it's not an open world game to put 1,000 hours into it, and of those 1,000 hours, half of the game is emptiness to nothing. And what makes those 1,000 hour games exciting is after doing nothing for 2 hours, you do something every once in a while. No, it's just having you know, a linear based action game where because nothing's procedurally generated, it's all made. You know, that was one of the few games, Drill, where you and I have talked about in depth, where it's like the entire world is immersive. Like every frame in the background looks like just an action movie poster. You know what I mean? It's like you're looking here and there's some fuck off war going over there. You're here and there's some strafe bombardment run going on over there. You know what I mean? You're here and then they broke the wall over there and the homies are fighting and you're like, no, buddies, brother, and it's just play that game, man. Another game that you and I got back into because of Steam sales, or that Asian and I got back into that you bought because of Steam sales, Alien Fireteam Elite. Another game that's just
Yeah.
had no business being that fun. Um, that game was hindered because at launch it did not have crossplay. Um, it only allowed like Xbox Series X to play with S, PC to play with PC, and of course PS5 to play with PS4 people at launch. Eventually, when I went to Game Pass, which is when I got into it, crossplay was a thing. Asia and I beat the campaign plus the epilogue DLC, and you got into it, and even that first time you fire that gun in Fireteam Elite, you're reminded why sound design is so important. Because the second you fire that fucking pulse rifle machine gun in Fireteam Elite, you're hooked. You're just like, fuck, this is an alien game that like, you know, there's like top 10 guns in video games and movies where you can hear that particular machine gun fire and to know, nope, that gun's from Halo. Okay, that gun's from Star Wars. That gun's from Aliens. That gun is from what's it called? Starship Troopers. You know what I mean? And so to have the immersion in that Alien Fireteam Elite, go play it. The classes are fun, the story's fun. There's some jump scares. It's kind of a rule of thumb. If you're the new one, if you're playing with friends that have already beat the campaign, and you're the newbie playing Alien, you're the grunt of your group. You're in the front always. What? Why? Is there a space hugger around the wall? I don't know, but Drell's going in front. Shit, not gonna be us.
Oh man, yeah,
Um,
man. No,
yeah.
Fire Team Elite is fantastic. I'm so glad that because I bought the game really cheap when it was a pretty cheap price. And I remember you're like, yeah, man, you got to play this, and I was sad that it was so short because it was such a fun experience playing with you and Victor, for those times and stuff. And then a lot of times I was the fucking grunt, so I would have to be in the front, you know. But that shit was fun, man. That shit was fun.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I do agree with you on Battlefield 6. That definitely surprised both of us when it comes to how that game did. I still want to play the campaign. That is on my
Yeah, I
radar.
haven't
I'll
played
probably
that
be
yet.
playing it. I'll probably play it like on my MSI Claw, or not my MSI Claw. I want to get an MSI Claw, my ROG Ally. I'll probably end up playing the campaign on that. But yeah, man. Space Marine 2. You know what's funny? The narrative around what you just said, which I connect with, resonate with, is this the importance of when you have friends that are like in various states and whatnot, and like the co-op nature of playing with them online, and like that's how we see a lot of these people, or spend time with them. Like it's so important to get engaged with something like that where you can play with your friends online, because it's just still such a special experience. It's such a special experience. It's so fun.
Yeah.
You and Victor have had so many fun moments, playing like fucking Gears or something.
Yep.
Like just like, like, like fucking Gears. Space Marines have been fun. Fire Team
Fuck,
Elite,
man.
especially like that last mission where we're just fucking hauling ass trying to get out of there. Like that shit was crazy. Um, yeah, it's just yeah. I continuously value uh co-op, playing with your friends, especially when you're in your 30s, going on 40s. It's it's so fun, and it's and I'm not gonna stop doing that. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes it's like our wives or
Can't
our
recommend it
family
enough.
don't understand, right? They don't understand like why we do those things. It's like if you did it, you would understand. You know? So, but yeah,
And, and that's the thing too with some of the cooperative games we play. We know each other's play style, and we know each other's like difficulty level. Meaning like you like the second there's a cooperative shooter like Helldivers 2, real quick, I will talk about that momentarily because that's another game we played. It's like if there's a Helldivers 2 type game, uh, 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 not Arc Raiders, Outriders. Remember that was another game last year, Jarrell. We played Arc Raiders. You know what I mean? Outriders. So that was another game where it's like we can tell that's our lane, but it's like because we know each other's difficulty level and we're honest. When there's like a Souls-like game coming out and people are like, but it's cooperative, we're like, cool, you have fun with that. I'm not buying that shit. I don't. I'm not clocking out. I'm not clocking out of a 10 to 11 hour day
yeah,
to miss
not
my
full
dodge by
price.
one frame and
Yeah, that's crazy.
have all that shit undone. Hey man, but it's like, well, streamers can, hey man, youthful people or people that play games just for a living, they got that cool. We got whole ass jobs. Before the pod, we were talking about how Joel was working overtime like mad. I've been averaging, I've been averaging fucking 11 to 12 hours these past few weeks. It's just, I get it. Some people can come home after a long day and play a From Software game and enjoy life. I'm not one of them. I I've played Dark Souls 3 and I beat Dark Souls 3, so I can say, hey, I have beaten a From Software game. I've earned that merit badge. I don't need any more merit badges in that realm. I'm good. Right? It's like fucking the Lion King. It's like everything the sun touches is ours. What's over there? That's the Badlands. I've gone to the Badlands. I've come back. I'm not going back. Fuck that. That's where Scar lives. Fuck that guy. My uncle's a bitch. I think he wants to kill me. Fuck that guy. And speaking of another game drill that we got back into this year, or that we enjoyed this year, Helldivers 2. And similar to No Man's Sky, similar to um, Space Marine 2, what got us really back into Helldivers 2, even though we've really never left. We might take a break for a month because other games are coming out. But remember what got us back into Helldivers 2? Going to the Hive world. I have never, in modern gaming, had PTSD like the Helldiver 2 Hell world that was Hellmire. Remember that shit drill? We have like when the first time Ricky and I played, we lost like 2 matches within 100 feet of the drop zone. Like when that event was going on, when you had to go to the Hive World, you weren't there. Like you got no, like I'm not like I'm not even joking. Like I had to take a break from the game for like a week because I'm just like fuck, it's too hard, man. I'll fucking die. We're just fucking dying. And it really was like the closest to like modern day gamer like PTSD because
Yeah,
it's like I remember Bacon, who's like, he's the cockiest of the group, and his skill backs up. He'll just like get top kills and shit. But I
yeah, it's
still
a very
remember
skilled
when we all were
gamer.
playing. I love when cocky Bacon gets humbled because there's a scream of sheer terror that peaks his Discord mic. So Discord mutes him, so Bacon's going through this shit when he's like, and like it cuts off his mic, and you just see him dead. So I
He
remember
really
when we
should.
were playing
He
drill
really
and
should do
like
voice acting. He really should do because like AI can't even replicate the type of voice that he has. Like he should really consider voice acting because he is a very unique voice for like cartoons or whatever.
Bacon can go from Mickey Mouse to like Scream Queen, like the first girl murdered in the opening of Scream, Drew Barrymore, in like 2 seconds. And just like high pitch from his soul scream. And with Helldivers 2, I remember playing with him and Ricky and I, who had, mind you, already been to the high world a few times, and we hear Bacon like, what's rumbling? Why is the earth rumbling? And Ricky and I are coy, like, we know what's happening. Like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. because sometimes amongst our group we openly tell each other, like, we call each other tour guides sometimes. So it's like, I'll be the tour guide, I'll watch the thing, everyone else actively don't watch it, so you can kind of get surprised when you see it in game. And I remember the first time seeing the Hive Lord, the fucking Dune, fucking sandworm coming from the earth, and his mic just peaking, and Discord was muting him like every 3 seconds because he was screaming so hard for so long. Just ah, 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 and it's still the same scream. He's not screaming and pausing, screaming. He's screaming the whole time for like 9 seconds straight, and Discord keeps cutting off his mic, and it's just so fun. Yeah, I remember like
That's
when we all played,
hilarious.
and it's like, okay, guys, hey guys, we spawned with extra lives. We have 3 lives left, and we just made it to the caves. You remember that shit where it's like you had to fight like to go from the LZ, the landing zone, to the caves, and then oh my god, once you got to the caves, oh, it's like, oh, this is easier, right? No, it gets worse. It gets so much worse. And then you remember Joel, the fucking dragons? It was it was like fucking Lord of the Rings of, oh, they have a cave troll. Fucking all of a sudden it's like we're like the grunts in Game of Thrones. Dragon! Ah! Fucking screaming our heads off, freaking out. Um, Cocky Bacon's
Yeah,
like,
man.
whatever. First to die when it does its acid strafe run. All of a sudden Bacon's like, it spits fire. We called it a dragon for a reason, Bacon. Well, I thought it was just acid. No, it's green
I
fire.
thought it was a
It's green
euphemism.
acid fire. Yeah. So
Oh man.
so that's the thing for me, Drill. It's like there's only a month left in the only like roughly 2 months left in the year, and like I said, you and I were shitting on game journalists that a lot of it deserve it, and like the modern AAA game industry it's on its last leg. It needs to have some big hits because no one gives a shit. Like, not to tangent too much, but like GTA 6 has got delayed again, and I think Rockstar is playing close, playing devilishly close, Jarrell, that the hype it had at the time that first teaser trailer was announced to where we are now, I think it's subsided substantially. Because look at all the top playing game to look and like look at the top played games of the past like 2 years. A lot of it's single player, a lot of it's cooperative games that aren't in the realm of GTA 6, Schedule 1, Peak, Lethal Company, you know what I mean? So, will GTA 6 be a behemoth? Not denying that. But I think there is a significant community that's slowly, like, that are, playing, Peak right now. They're playing Schedule 1 after the update with their cartels not too long ago. They're playing, you know, like look at No Man's Sky after the last update. So after, you know, speaking of Game of the Year games, like Expedition 33 and more, right? And it's like, oh, GTA 6 gets delayed, and everyone's like, oh, okay, back to Peak, back to every other game I'm playing, back to Battlefield 6. So again, I'm not saying GTA 6 won't be a behemoth, but I think there is a significant, a decent enough population like myself that's just like, you know what, I'm slowly getting acclimated to the world of Steam, and in this economy, dude, paying full price for games day one's a rarity. Like, I've done it once this year via Battlefield 6. Maybe outside of State of Decay 3, I don't see myself buying a day one game. And State of Decay 3 is not even AAA. So I'm not even speaking to AAA games. I'm just speaking to day one full priced fucking games. Like, I was just ordering groceries, Drill, before we started recording, and I was talking with Victor like, what the fuck? $100 for just produce? Suck my dick. Like, and now it's like Xbox is like $80 for Outer Worlds 2. Fuck you. So I know they rolled it back. They went to 70, and Outer Worlds 2, shocker, is like the 7.5 game we knew it was gonna be. Um, so yeah, man, like I said, for me, even though we got a few weeks left in the year, This game's been really all about games that have had updates that have brought me back in. No Man's Sky, Helldivers 2, Space Marine 2, or games that went on sale that I've been able to play for the first time, like Pirate Yakuza. And I can't speak enough to Pirate Yakuza. I've been telling you and a lot of our listeners, like, Yakuza has been a franchise I've wanted to play for so long because it's such a weird, different franchise genre that nothing can compare to it. Like, you can play any Yakuza, you can play 10 Yakuza clips back to back, and they'll be like, yeah, this is the same game. Yeah, I'm betting on cockfights. Yeah, I'm having a pirate ship battle. Yeah, I'm playing Pokemon Snap with buff dudes and speedos. Yeah, I'm throwing darts with a hooker. Yeah, I'm playing pool with a homeless man. Yeah, it's all the same game. It's Yakuza. What's confusing about it, Drill? I'm also gardening. I'm also cooking. I'm playing karaoke. You know what I mean? Um, so what? So with what Gears of War 2 was reminiscent to just gory, good action games. Yakuza Pirate Hawaii is reminiscent to what fun games are. Like I said, it feels like Pirate Yakuza Hawaii is what the Saints Row remake could have been, because because outside of Saints Row 1 and 2, if you remember, Joel, sorry, tangent, Saints Row 1 and 2 were like semi decent competitors to GTA, meaning like they were kind of real gangstery games. And then Saints Row 3 was like, fuck it, fuck it. We're going to have a building sized monster energy drink, be a supervillain. You can have dildos for bats. Fuck it all. And Saints Row the Third is where it really went balls to the wall, just bonkers, batshit fun. And that's what Power Yakuza is like, man. So if I really had to pick my
Yeah.
favorite game of the year that I've been playing so far, it's Pirate Yakuza Like a Dragon. And the second game I've been having fun, Drell, that I haven't put on Steam yet, because I'm just playing casually with Asian, is Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. And real quick,
Okay.
I promise I'll stop talking eventually. Is, as I told you, yeah, sorry. I don't know, man. There's no agenda. We're just firing from the hip, you know. Vibing, as the kids say. The last game I'll talk about, Drill, again, not AAA, not day one, Steam sale. Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. So, reminder, the Warhammer IP is public. So anyone can. That's why there's a million Warhammer games. So it's literally why when you describe a Warhammer game, it's Warhammer plus this, because it's a skin, or not a skin, but a genre, right? Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader is like Warhammer plus Baldur's Gate 3. Very narrative, turn-based game, companions, choice, an evil good system on 3 scales. You can be really evil, you can be really good, but there's also, because it's Warhammer 40k, Drill, you can be, a heretic or a Puritan. You could be like, brother, or you can be, a fucking, you know, Chaos Marine styles. You can be someone that's really good, but is against the Imperium, right? Um, and so, yeah. All I know is, Real, if I learned one thing from this year, except for Battlefield 6, meh, AAA, who gives a... Oh, let me phrase that. Western AAA, no one gives a shit.
Yeah, so there's a lot that you covered, right? Let me go back to Grand Theft Auto 6 as far as for my thoughts on the pushback um, of the delay, because there's a lot involved with that, right? Because shortly after the delay happened, they announced like 40 different layoffs, or people that were let go due to lewd misconduct, which in reality it was like they were trying to fire them before they unionize, because of whatever poor conditions that they had put them in.
How are they rude?
So
They want to get paid more.
yeah, so it's just like that typical corporate bullshit, right? So that's like disappointing, and then obviously it makes sense to push back the game because they have to hire more people to fix whatever, to fix paint the rest of the house, right, if you will. But I do think there are some people that are less excited because of that. They're tired of the delays. To me, it doesn't even make sense to have as many trailers as they did this year if it's going to be pushed back to next year. It doesn't even make sense for that to even be a
Right.
thing. Because it's like they have to redo their entire launch again. So next year, when they have the hype, they have to restart up the hype train, right? Put more coal into the furnace and start the hype train again. We need to see goddamn gameplay, right? You showed us two trailers, right? Or one introductory trailer and then two more deeper trailers with different characters and stuff. And the graphics look great, but to go through all of that to delay it again, and some people say that it was supposed to come out next year anyway, but they have to redo their entire hype because you have people that are burnt out of the hype, just like of the delays in general, right? I mean, this is one of the biggest games ever to be released. The same thing as Grand Theft Auto 5. When that released, it made $1 billion in 27 hours, as we always talk about how insane that is. And GTA Online is still making fucking buku bucks, right? So, but yeah, as far as for the excitement, I think it is dwindling. It is dwindling. I always laugh just because I'm like, hey, you're just giving me more time to save money for a console to buy. So like I will be playing it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I will be playing it. And I am less disappointed. I'm more like, hey, you gave me more time to save money. Thanks. You know what I mean? But I know there's a lot of people that are like, fuck it. Like, I don't give a fuck anymore. And I understand that side too. So, but yeah, AAA is really weird now just because the corporate agenda and what people want um is completely off base to what actual customers want. They want to be shareholders. They want to turn every game into Fortnite, and all this
Oops.
stuff
I
and
froze
live
for a sec,
service
so I'm gonna
and
agree
blah
with
blah
you.
blah. What I mean, I just think it speaks more to why a lot of these games that have released that are just really bad. You know what I mean? I mean a whole fucking console is gone. It's now a philosophical statement. Oh, your phone's an Xbox now. No, it's not because my phone can't play games that I bought for my console. Like, no, it's not. It's not a fucking Xbox, like, and there's a lot of people, and I get that there's a whole generation that's grown up into this world. So they're going to think it's an Xbox because they don't know what a fucking Xbox is because they never owned an Xbox. So when they tell you this is an Xbox, they're going to be like, "Oh, this is an Xbox," So there's a lot of like idiocracy, shout out to that movie, as far as for just what the fuck is going on, And then you have the president of Microsoft.
That was a dead on impression of their last advertising, by the way. It was a perfect
Yeah,
impression of their last commercial.
Like then you have Satya Nadella, the president of Microsoft, saying we want to compete with TikTok. It's just like, oh, you guys aren't even talking to customers. Like it's almost like Miles Davis playing with his back against the
Yeah,
crowd. Like you're not even paying attention. You don't even care about what the customers want because according to
that
the
was,
shareholders, we want you to compete against TikTok. You know what I mean? That's the real
dude.
driver. It's
Somehow we've
almost
gone
like
full
it
circle.
reminds.
We went from like Xbox TV to like Xbox social media. Like, how the fuck did we? It's insane.
Yeah, like it's almost like it's like the hostage situation, right? Where you have like the negotiator, whatever. It's like, hey, I have control of the situation, and I feel like that was Phil Spencer. I feel like Phil Spencer was like the negotiator, where it's like,
Yeah,
I have it under control. I'm gonna be able to handle this, and then Satya Nadella, fucking Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, his dumbass, and all these other people, the shareholders, they're the FBI. They're like, well, if we take over, we're gonna kill everybody in there.
yeah.
Like we're just gonna fuck up the whole situation, and I feel like that's exactly what's happened. Where it's just like Phil Spencer tried to do his thing, but the more we realize a lot of these games that flopped under his radar, especially when it came to Xbox One and forward, we
Yeah.
realize, okay, he's losing control. He is now a puppet, and he's being told what to do versus him making decisions. Like obviously 360, that was his year, right? That
Yeah.
was his Jordan year. That was his Jordan prime year. Like, yo, you saved Xbox, boy. You know what I mean? And then especially with the Xbox One, we thought it was fucking direct TV, and I'm looking at you, we're watching E3, we're like, what the fuck? What the fuck is that guy saying? You know, and this is before Phil Spencer got in as head of Xbox.
Yep.
But what the fuck is happening? You know, and he ended up saving Xbox. You know, and I know Church, you wanted to say, Church is our former co-host. For those who are like, who's Church? You know, who was like, they just made, they just delayed it to make it to what it is now. In a sense, yes, but in a sense, no, because it wasn't just it wasn't a DVR TV box. That's not what they focused on. They focused on streaming eventually.
It was like a drinking game. It's like, hey, watch that video back and take a shot every time they mention TV. You'll die.
Right. And you know what's funny? I was thinking about this for the past couple of weeks on, because we had multiple episodes and conversations, right? As far as for like, hey, is this the last console? Like, you can go back to our episodes.
Yeah, we heard a few.
Check out, like, is this our last? Like, we all kind of predicted this in our own way. So,
Yeah.
like me saying, is this their last console? It pretty much was. And then Church made a point as far as like, it seems like they're going to do hardware, but it may just end up being like a powerful PC. So he was right within that regard. So it's like, we all kind of knew, like, okay, there's some weird shit going on. You know, like we're not going to get a console experience anymore, and especially because they raised like 7-year-old consoles to be an extra $200, $300, you know, 5 years or whatever it is. But it's like ridiculous, you know, ridiculous price increases on old hardware. You know what I mean? So hey, you want a real Xbox? You gotta, you know, like.
Yeah.
And you don't own it, you're gonna pay more money. Like, I'm like, go fuck yourselves, guys. And then they release this PC. So it's just like, I say all of this to say, like, as far as just the what I'm thankful for right now, like, Steam is like my homie. You know what I mean?
Dude, the last October Steam sale, you and I cleaned house. Dude,
Yeah.
that Borderlands sale, like, real talk. We haven't even started the Black Friday fall specials yet, but for the October sale that just wrapped up, holy shit. Us two and our friend group went in. Like, I now own every single Borderlands game before Borderlands 4 for $40. Everything.
Awesome.
Borderlands 1 game of the year, Borderlands 2 all of it, Borderlands 3 all of it, Telltale, the Telltale game, the sequel to the Telltale game, prequel, sequel, Handsome Jack collection. I own fucking everything. It was like, you saved $546. I'm like, okay. And then I bought the Fear collection. I bought Fear 1, 2, and 3, which is still my old school favorite horror franchise. I bought all the Fear games for $5. I bought Mad Max for $4. After we talked about how Hogwarts Legacy was in the games journalism talk again for a second boycott, because there was an article saying, hey, Hogwarts 2 is still under development, and reminding all the weirdos online that Hogwarts 2 is going to exist. It stirred up all the old controversy of like, well, you better not buy it because someone that had nothing to do with the game said something online. Bah! And I'm going to give you death threats because I have nothing to do with my day. I'm a game journalist and I support it. So I bought Hogwarts Legacy again out of spite. Fuck you.
This has been a spiteful year for me too. I'm sorry to cut in. I was going to say this has been a spiteful year for me too, because, you know, that's why I say like Steam is my homie. You know what I mean? Like Steam has been the homie for as far as for games go. I especially with just how everything is turning into, and they want to. It's crazy how art is being diluted to just a streaming service and a subscription. You know, where like we just want like the model of people just buying games at full price. If they were quality games, and if the publishers let the developers do their fucking job and create what they want to create in their world, people would still buy games at a massive rate. But because you have these other models, that these companies want to adopt that into every model. And that's not how things should be. Like, Fortnite exists in the space that it exists. I think it should exist in that space. Do I think that everything should be like Fortnite? Absolutely fucking not.
And that's why,
you know what I mean?
that's why you're not a game executive, Drill. Way to fucking go.
And I know there's a very, you know, it's a very toxic yes men culture, like, and it's
Horribly
not even games. It's
horrible
yeah,
fucking Emperor's New Clothes culture we talked about, where it's like
right,
ex
exactly, exactly.
ex developers for the shit game that was Dragon Age Veilguard is like, hey guys, should we have an old mechanic in the game like being evil? BioWare set a precedent of having some of the best evil playthrough games in the history of gaming, all the way back from Knights of the Republic to fucking Mass Effect 3, with one of the most famous, renegade moments of all time, where Shepard comes off from a fucking battle where like half his homies just died. He fucking shows up to the Citadel. There's some fucking reporter, Jessica Chobot. Hey Shepard. So I heard you're a fucking bitch. And then all of a sudden press RT for renegade. Boom, and you
Well,
fucking punch her in the
damn.
face. And so we went from punching Jessica Chobot in the face to, no, sorry, we can't be mean. We can't really kill people. There's no more blood magic in Dragon Age. Blah 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 blah. And we're like, literally, there were articles that came out where it was like, yeah, we couldn't do that. And all of a sudden, oh shocker, Veilguard flops. Cause so again, so to Joel's point, it's like on both ends. Like it is a spiteful year, because it's like it's one thing to have a bad game, and it's another for game journalists in the industry and people that are part of the game to say, hey, you better like our game, or you're this, 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 this. You better like our game, or oh, what's that? You didn't think this game was good? You're this label, this label, this label. And even like politics or themes aside, you can constructively look at the writing and mechanics of Dragon Age and be like, this game's bad for a Dragon Age game. And then something you and I talked about forever, Drill, is like all these people, they're not on their social media or marketing team goes on social media, whether it's Reddit, Blue Sky, Twitter, whatever, runs their mouth that makes people want to buy the game less. Because, it's like, who was it? Ubisoft. Holy crap, dude. Every time someone from Ubisoft opened their fucking mouth about Assassin's Creed Shadows, they kept shooting themselves in the foot every goddamn time. So by the time the game came out, it's like, okay, so the game hasn't even come out yet. We've insulted this community, this community, this community, this community, this community. If you don't like the game, you're this. Like, fuck you. It's like they've insulted 4/5 of our friends group by the time the game came out. Shocker, none of us bought it.
Right, right.
Sorry.
And it's crazy. It's funny because in the grand scheme of things, the game did sell well, but
Supposedly,
in
no one
corporate
was ever able to back up those numbers. Remember that?
well, the thing is like in the corporate land, it's like, what is really a game that succeeds? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just, it's ridiculous to me that you have games like Hi-Fi Rush, where that studio that
Set
got
records in Steam.
dismantled. Yeah, like there was I was watching Young Yang's channel, and he was kind of referring to like this topic in that moment, and he was showing the picture as far as like, look how many awards we've won, and all this stuff, and like the game did well, but it didn't do well to their standards, like, and it says, and I remember seeing this shit from Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, like it just didn't hit that one mark, and they dismantled the whole fucking thing, and I was like, who the fuck do you guys think you are? It's like, what numbers are you trying to hit? Why are you trying to hit like Call of Duty numbers with an RPG, action RPG? That doesn't make any sense. So it's really sad that these weird corporate numbers are impeding on like the creativity of these developers, and yeah, like Ubisoft is trash, you know what I mean? And they're pussies, like they're trash and pussies.
Final
Like
Fantasy 16 is another example where, according to Squeenix, even though Final Fantasy 16 sold, I think it was just shy of 3 million copies, they still considered it a financial failure.
right, right, you know what I mean? Because it's like I understand if, and that's the thing, right? It's like that whole thing is a problem, where no one gives a like the president of these companies, the shareholders, no one gives a fuck about the art of the game. Like no one gives a fuck. They care about if it sells, right? They don't care if it's a bad game or a good game. Is it going to sell, right? So like I understand that, but then also that doesn't give you the right to call to dismantle something when within the grand scheme of things, like it did well. You know what I mean? Like it's because Nintendo goes through. Nintendo's kind of like they're kind of slightly changing this narrative, but they've had moments where they take an L, but they don't dismantle the whole fucking dev team. You know what I mean? Like the Wii
Yeah.
U was one of the worst launches that they've ever had. You know what I mean? Out of all of their consoles. But they didn't dismantle everyone. They cut, they cut the salaries of a lot of these top CEOs and all this stuff. And they're like, hey, that's our bad. We're gonna, let's try to rethink about what we want to do for the next console. And then the Switch is a fucking, powerhouse. The Switch 2 is a fucking powerhouse. Even though, I don't see myself buying a Switch 2. I would rather emulate it. But
And remember, Gerald, there was
yeah.
back to Nintendo. As much as we shit on modern Nintendo with all their patents and bullshit, they were the ones. Remember, they're the ones where the CEO have the CEO have his own cut his own salary in half to prevent all those layoffs and everything like that. So modern Nintendo is kind of bullshit with their patents of like, what,
Right.
you're gonna use a monster to fight another monster? Only we can do that in all of gaming and media. Fuck you. And the whole world was like, okay, sure,
Right.
cool. Michael
Right.
Vick said, Michael Vick said,
there's
hold my fucking beer.
right, like there's cancer charity events where Nintendo sends cease and desist letters because they couldn't play the game to raise money for cancer. I'm like, who are these people?
I'm sorry, real quick, Jarrell. I would love. Sorry, I'm going back to my comment. I would love for Nintendo to reappeal that patent of you can't use fucking monsters to fight other monsters. I would love for Michael Vick's lawyers to be like, hold up, bitch. Sorry, the hero we never knew we needed against Pokemon. Michael Vick.
That's hilarious.
Sorry, real quick. I think
Yeah.
I mentally mixed Nintendo and Pokemon, but how can you fucking not? Nintendo is not doing the patents. Pokemon's doing the patents, but God, that's so. Hey, note to self: if you make a Michael Vick simulator, Game Freak may try to sue you.
That's hilarious. But yeah, so I mean, one of the things too that I've been thankful for is emulation. I'll just
Yeah,
be honest. Emulation has been really fun, and the reason why I've been doing it is because I'm tired of these games, these bullshit games, that are driven by people that have to grind and they're not able to make the game that they really want to make because there's this shitty corporate agenda and yes, spend all this stuff. Like I don't have time for it. I don't have time for it. I don't want to spend money on it. And I'll spend money on what I want to spend, but a lot of that is going to be Steam because it's fucking cheap. And yeah, but as far as emulation, that's been really fun. Going back to just old games that I owned, played, that has been so fun. Just going back to it. Nostalgia has been huge. There's this device called the Retro Pocket. I mean, I have a couple retro devices, but like the Flip 2, this thing's so great. Like it's just an Android device with like, gamepads and stuff, but I can do mad emulation with it. And I play old games that I used to play back in the day. Games we used to sell at GameStop back in the day. It's just like really good shit. And that's been really fun. That's been really fun. And I love Steam. How I can wait for a sale and buy a fuck ton of games. I had a Steam Deck. I had to return it because it was a refurbished model, not a Valve refurbished model. And it had some quirks. But I want to end up buying a Steam Deck OLED just because I respect Steam that much. But yeah, man, emulation, Steam, I am so thankful for those things. I am so thankful for those things. Those are the things that I'm really rocking. And yeah, I'm kind of like a buy full price, like a game once a year at this point.
yeah.
Just
Same.
because they don't want to let developers make what they want to make, right? They don't want to do it, And if they don't want to do it, and they have to go through Valve, and Valve has to support them, people will buy it through Valve. It's like that. It's like that duck game with like the helmet and the guns and that shit. Even like outsold Battlefield or some shit.
Tarkov. Oh, it's like Tarkov Escape from Duktov or something.
Yeah, like that's great. That's great.
And here's the thing too, Drill. Speaking of Steam, right now, I just put Sonic Frontiers on my cart. That bitch is 80% off.
Oh, nice. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
and that's the thing too, Drill. Real quick, but a relative tangent. It's like here's a there's a thin rope between nostalgia and good. It's like I like this. I think fond I have fond memories of it because of nostalgia, but I'll still pay for it and play it because it's still good. I was just talking to some relatives about that same thing today about movies. I'm not going to renew my Paramount Plus, nor am I going to renew my HBO Plus, my HBO whatever the fuck they call it membership now for next year because Joe, something you and I talk about, all the movies I've been watching lately are on YouTube because YouTube free movies, like I don't mean like, pirated at I upload a movie. No, like YouTube has free movies they have licenses for. They're not new at all, but they're the most rewatchable shit ever. Like Secondhand Lions, Fifth Element, um fucking what was the Nicolas Cage ones? I went through a Nicolas Cage binge, Con Air, The
Nice. Yeah.
Rock, um the Two Face with
Face off.
Face Off.
Face off.
Thank you. Again, movies. Again, it's just like, yeah, I have nostalgia for Con Air because I have fond memories of it. But I'm gonna sit down for an hour and a half and actually fucking watch it because it's fucking Con Air. Put the money back in the box. Like it's just so good, man.
Cyrus the
Um,
Virus.
and rip Dave Chappelle. Why they gotta throw him from the airplane? Um, but again, it's like, you know, like some of the games I'm buying, Drill, like I'm looking to play right now. Like I really want to start going back through my Steam library, not because it's like one I'm trying to save money, which real shit, my student loans are coming back up again, so I literally can't spend the same this year what I did next year. Um, so not only is it a financial thing for a lot of gamers nowadays, but again, it's like, hey, why are you playing this game? Oh, just because for member berries? No, because what do you think I'm gonna have more fun playing? Drell, Star Wars Outlaws, or Star Wars: The Knights of the Republic 2? You know what I mean? What do you think I'm
Right.
gonna have more fun playing? Fucking Dustborn, where I can trigger somebody, or Bioshock
Right.
Infinite, Arkham City. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and those are games that have really playability just because they're so good. And those are the type of games where when for those of you that have even console, this is not a Steam thing. Even console owners, go back and try, play through a smidge of Arkham Asylum again, play through a smidge of Bioshock Infinite, and it brings you back for two reasons. Again, not just because it's like, oh, I remember this, the music, I'm back, I'm home, it's comfortable, it's warming, I know it. You're just like, fuck, this is fun, versus
Right.
it's like, hey, let's go play HR Speak the game, which is modern day Bioware and Ubisoft, and they're not the only ones, there are more, but again, it's like just something about modern day Western AAA games that just full price day one aren't cutting it. Not again. We mentioned Outer Worlds 2. I'm not knocking Outer Worlds 2, but you and I called. A lot of people that were familiar with that franchise, we knew it was going to be an 8 at most. I knew Outer Worlds 2 wouldn't be a 10. Now that one game drill, remember the one game, Clockwork Revolution. That game looks fucking sick. Yeah, Outer Worlds 2, I knew what it was. It's Fallout with Trim the Fat, where there's still loot, but you don't have to take everything that's not nailed to the fucking ground. Like, ooh, a paper plate. I'm gonna need 100 paper plates to make a fucking piece of armor because it's Fallout. Um, no. So, um, Outer Worlds 2, I'm not gonna knock it. I haven't played it. And then drill to your thing, out of spite. Again, this was like a year of spite. I think it's only gonna get worse next year. I'll tell you this, drill. Speaking of spite purchases, when State of Decay 3 does come out, I'm not buying off the fucking Xbox store. I'm buying that bitch through Steam. Fuck that.
Boom. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm really great. I'm very grateful for these other avenues, you know. And that's one of the joy. There's a lot of crazy people in the PC gaming community, but
Yeah.
you know, as a PC gamer myself, I am so grateful, and I know most PC gamers are of the space of the different avenues and shops you can choose for where you want to play shit. You know, buy shit, play shit. And then also too, like this is the time of the year when Epic Game Store they'll just give you free games like every week, every day, or
I
whatever the
downloaded
fuck
my
it
free
was.
game a couple days ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What was the free game? What's the free? What was the free one?
I'll fucking know it's free.
Oh, okay. But yeah,
It's
it's like
free.
yeah, it's free. I'll download it. Yeah, fuck it. You know what I
Oh,
mean? No, yeah, I'm on that time too. Yeah. One thing that's been dope too that I've been even putting on my YouTube channel, the J Powell Network. Check it out. You know, subscribe if you'd like. But I've been doing a lot of PC emulation via Android. So taking games that I own on Steam and playing them on my Android device, like the Flip 2, you know, and that shit has been really fun as well. So being able to not be on a mouse and keyboard and I can just be chilling on the couch playing fucking Fallout or playing, you know, whatever from Steam that I purchased, you know. So that's one of the dope things too is that these Steam sales I can buy games for cheap and then I can play them through Game Hub, you know, or Game Native and play them on my Android device. So that's been dope too. So, but yeah, man. We're nearing the hour here. Any lasting thoughts of interest or anything like that before we close out?
no, just like I said, man. Like I said, for both of us and a lot of our friend group, like I said, other than Battlefield, this year was getting back into fun games. I'm sure there's be another huge fat update for Helldivers 2. That'll bring us right back into the fight for Super Earth. Um,
Yes, sir. Yes,
bugs don't
sir.
kill themselves. Um, I haven't been streaming that much because I've been just chill, talking with the homies, about life shit. Because we got some of us had lots of shit we're going through, so it's like I don't want to stream that. But I'm just like Jarrell said, just really play cooperative games. Every now and again, if you can only play for like 2 hours after work, it's like yeah you're playing a game, but every now and again you just slip in like hey how's stuff going, and it's like
Yeah,
some in our
just
friend group
hanging
had
out.
surgery. Some, there's a few
Yeah,
ER trips between all of us. We're getting old, man.
yeah.
We're getting fucking
Jesus
old.
Christ. Yeah.
Fucking waiting for
Dude,
test results and shit.
I shower so slowly.
Yeah,
I get
man.
out of it so slowly because I'm like I cannot afford to fall. You know, like yeah, it's crazy.
Dude,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Some of us are like, we're top, us guys, we're a top heavy species, man. At our age we fall. We fall hard. I got this actually was funny. This weekend I was staying with the family and I have new socks. Holy shit, dude. I think the soles of my socks are covered in olive oil. I was nearly slipping on in my family's living room hardwood floor so much. It was crazy. It was like I was like a dog on hardwood floor. Like I was like, oh shit. It was just really slippery. They just mopped, and I'm like, it wasn't like wet, but I'm like, oh fuck, it's really clean, guys. But no, like I said, you know, like I said, if you can't tell, a lot of our games we talked about this year, Drill, they weren't brand new. Like yeah, outside of Battlefield 6, they weren't brand new day one games. Don't have for the sake of what you want to play and for the sake of your wallet. Let's be real. Fucking food's expensive. Don't let FOMO, fear of missing out, think you have to buy shit day one. Wait for it to go on sale. Even if you're really hyped for a game, but a part of you is worried for a day one patch that might get fucked up at launch, don't buy day one. Let other people be the day one testers. Yeah, and for those, and whether you're on console or PC users, check out Steam sales coming in a few weeks. I think I'm gonna call it now, Joel. I think my New Year's resolution next year is gonna be buy less games and play more what I have. Like we are talking between the two of us, it's like we have collect like I got 2 trips coming up next year. We're a real quick shout out to Jeff Keighley. You were talking about Game of the Year awards. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be at Gamescom next year. That bitch ain't on this
Oh
continent.
man,
That shit's in Germany.
I'm so excited for you, bro. That's so dope.
I I will say this, real in the modern day era. If I can say, I wish I would have gone. If I could have gone to peak E3 or now modern day Gamescom, Gamescom. Yeah, E3 is cool, but let's be real. You and I, we know LA. It's like, wow, the convention's cool. I'm gonna cross the street and I smell piss. That's just, why does it smell like piss and shit out here? I love LA.
Don't do that.
What?
That's not all of LA.
No, that's not.
You always talk about LA about
No,
just being
no. Here's
piss
why,
and shit
Drill.
town.
That's not me shitting on LA because it's fun. No, you have a car. I don't. How do I get to? How do I get to the LA Convention Center, Drill? The Blue Line, the Blue Line station across the LA Convention. You're gonna smell piss. It's a fact.
Yeah, yeah, that's fact.
Again,
That's fact.
now, Drill, does their parking garage smell like piss? I don't know. I don't own a car. I know it does smell like piss, and the Blue Line station, 2 blocks away from the LA Convention Center. But what I'm saying is, but again, the real shit, like really, if I could say I could have gone to peak E3, even though it's Keanu Reeves, you're breathtaking. Again, Gamescom, where I'm like, hey, fuck it, let me travel the world, be to a continent I've never been in, Europe. I will say though, Joe, I'm a little biased because going from south of the border where the dollar goes a little stronger to now going to Europe where the opposite happens, where the dollar's not stronger. I'm like, God damn it, it's fucking
Yeah,
currency exchange
yeah,
is bullshit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I'm like I said, I'm gonna be spending some decent money. So I'm gonna try to, between Gamescom Germany trip coming up, and like I said, student loans are coming back in the picture. I'm gonna try to stay on top of it financially, and again, 1-2 games day one max a year, and the rest go through my current library for ongoing updates like Helldivers 2, Space Marine 2, No Man's Sky, and all the other all the dozen plus games. Who knows? Fuck a draw. Maybe I beat every game in all Borderlands all of next year. Maybe I go through all my Borderlands games throughout next year
That'll
and
be
see how it goes.
crazy. That's a heck of a resolution. That'd be crazy.
Hey, try to save money.
Yeah, man. That's dope. Yeah, before we wrap up, I think for me, resolution. I have to think about that for myself. I think I want to buy back some games. Buy back some games that I used to have, and then burn those bitches into ISOs, and then just have my folder of like, these are my games. Fuck off. You know what I mean? And just play
Yeah.
them on all my devices. Um, I think I want to do that next year. I can't buy a GameStop worth of games, obviously, but just like a handful of games that I remember that I'm like, these are like the games that remind me of like great childhood memories and stuff, or just great gaming memories. And then, yeah, I mean, emulation is definitely very exciting for these times. And yeah, there's a quote that I heard, and I think we talked about it before, but basically it was, uh, culture should be more than just people that can afford it, something to that degree. I'm kind of butchering it, but I'm like, I 100% agree. I'm sorry, especially when we live in a world where we buy games and now we don't own them all of a sudden. Now it's just a license. Like, go fuck yourself. Like I'm kind of on that type of time, respectfully, in these times. So
I like that sentiment where it's like, again, cost shouldn't limit the culture. And then PSN's like, oh, these 200 countries, go fuck yourself. Sorry, just thinking back to
yeah,
remember the Helldivers review bomb where it's like, hey, 200 countries can't play your
yeah,
game because they require PSN.
yeah, they finally fixed that. Finally, but yeah, that was they dropped the ball on that. First, I was like, is this really a problem? And then when I got some, I was like, oh yeah, this is a problem.
Yeah, and hey, shout out to Arrowhead Studios. That shit's a cape now. We asked for that.
Yeah,
Once Sony, because remember it wasn't Arrowhead that made the mistake. It was Sony, and the pressure of review bombing Sony's top, funded, fucking golden goose that was Helldivers 2. Pressured Sony to do it back, and we all immediately called him like, dude, this graph will go hard on a fucking cape. Please do it. And they're like, we don't know. And then like, what was it, like 6 months later, they're like, bam, cape dropped.
yeah, that was genius. That was genius. Shout out to them. All right, well, that's gonna wrap it up here for you guys for Gamesfly podcast. Just to let you guys know as well, since we're living at the end of the year, a lot of family stuff's happening. A lot of people are going on cruises and just spending time This will be one of the last episodes of the year. We'll probably have one more, maybe in December, very
Yeah.
early December, if anything. But we're nearing the end of the year. But of course, appreciate you guys watching and everything. And definitely subscribe, spread the word. Check out our live streams if we do any live streams until the rest of the year. Until then, Gamers Fly Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ro, and with me is Arthur Thomas.
Me.
All right. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. We'll see you next time if my mouse presses stop. Okay, here we go.